Section 1. Bias. In the 1900s, most orchestras were dominated by men. In the 1960s, several orchestras held blind auditions where the judges could not see the performer and only listened to the music. A surge of female performers was the result of this new auditioning process. Some may have found women were inferior simply because of their gender and not whether they could perform the task. This can also be seen in the job applications for labs. Males were more likely to be granted the position in the lab and were also given a higher paycheck. What constitutes a science? Scientists cannot actually prove facts to be true, but rather dismiss all other possibilities. This allows room for some facts to be discredited with new information in the future. The first process is to observe. Variables. Factors that change along with the behavior of interest in the environment or other behaviors. Observation. Careful consideration and recording of events. Descriptive method. When the goal is to accurately and impartially describe and record behaviors without altering them. Naturalistic observation. Observing one in their natural environment. Jane Goodall's observation of gorillas is an example of this, where she spent enough time with the gorillas that they no longer noticed her. Concerns. If the one observed alters their behavior because they are being watched, and if the environment accurately represents the population as a whole. Observations continued. Case study. Intensive observation of one or more individuals, especially when they all demonstrate a similar behavior. It may not always be descriptive due to treatments sometimes being involved, in which case the treatment is also noted. Example. In 1965, a baby's penis was severely damaged and then removed. The baby spent his childhood treated as a girl. Surveys. A collection of answers about one's behavior, thoughts, and opinions. Can be conducted through the internet, paper, phone calls, or face-to-face. Concerns. Not everyone will answer truthfully. Important considerations. Wording of the question cannot be ambiguous. Measurement of variables. Covariance. Two variables change together in a predictable fashion. Examples. Children with large vocabularies have parents that continued with higher education. Correlation coefficient. Quantitative measurement of how variables closely change together. Use Pearson's correlation coefficient to measure. Ranges from -1 to 1. If the variables are not correlated, then it is measured at 0. If the variables go up or down together, it is a positive correlation. A perfect positive correlation would be measured at 1. If one variable increases while the other decreases, and vice versa, then it is a negative correlation. A perfect negative correlation would be -1. Measurement of variables continued. Correlation does not prove causation. Spurious correlations. When the variables are each affected by a different source, example, lemon imports and highway accidents. Although they both decreased, they have no connection to each other. Confounding variable. A factor that causes changes in both variables but does not result in the two variables affecting each other. Example, drowning rates in ice cream consumption. During warmer months, more people spend time in the water and eat ice cream, but the two are not related.